Hello, hello. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet a headband head warmer for beginners. And with all this winter storm and snow and freezing temperatures, I've been wearing a beanie most days. But the thing with beanies is you get that hat hair, right? When your hair's all matted up. So I wanted to crochet a headband, a head warmer, and I was watching some video tutorials on YouTube, and they're super cute and super easy, but they left out a few important details. So I wanted to create this video to let you know a few things I learned and that they will help you. And so basically what I did was to start off with, you crochet a chain for your foundation chain, right? And so the way you measure how long your headband is going to be is you take that chain, the foundation chain, and you wrap it around your head to make sure it's not, just fits snug, not too tight, not too loose. But then you also got to leave a couple inches for when you put the headband together and you bind it together. So you're going to lose just a little bit of space, not a whole lot, but you got to take that in consideration because you don't want to get all done and then your headband's way too tight and you won't enjoy it, right? So what I suggest doing is you crochet your foundation chain. And if you're new to crocheting and you want to do this, but you've never tried crocheting and you're a beginner, I look back on my videos. I teach the basics of how to crochet a chain, okay? And you can go back and watch those videos. And this is single crochet, so you can watch that and find out how to do that. And it's super simple. You're just making a flat, you're just, off of your foundation chain, you're just single crocheting, and you just crochet it to where it's the width that you want, right? And again, back to the length, so you know how to do the length. That is the part where they left it out on the tutorial videos that I watched on YouTube. And so what I suggest doing is first make your foundation chain and then just single crochet one row of your headband and then measure it and see how it fits. And you're going to want to wrap it around your head and remember to leave a little bit at the top, because when we fasten this together, it's going to be, I'll show you exactly how to do it, but there's going to be just a little bit of space, maybe about that much, if you can see, that we're going to lose. So you got to take that into consideration so that you don't make it too tight and you're all done and then you're frustrated, right? So just take that into consideration. On most of them were saying, to crochet, 70, 65 was one of them. I did a 65, ended up to be way too short for me. So I did, this one is 70. The base foundation chain was 70, okay? So you can just see whatever your preference is as far as when you measured on your head, okay? So then once you get done with the width or the height that you want for your headband, then that is where you stop. I went ahead and I came back and I added this little trim around the top and the bottom just for extra fun. For Valentine's Day is coming up next month, so I wanted to do the red and white for Valentine's Day, and just for fun. And you can play around with different colors. That's what makes this so fun. You could do different colored stripes. You could do solid one color. You could do, all different things. You can play around with different colors. And if you want to do the trim, it's super easy. It's just single crochet. And you can go back and watch my tutorial videos on beginner crocheting if you want to learn how to do that. So I'm just going to show you how to fasten this together. I have the desired length, and I've got all my ends all woven in. And so now I'm at the point where I'm going to make the twist. Okay, so what you do with that is you just put your two ends together. They're facing each other, and then you sandwich them together like this, and then you sandwich them to where they're overlapping. So you're kind of just going like this with them, okay? You're taking them to make that formation, right? And you want to make sure that it's just really even, because when you sew these together, you just got to be careful to go through all 4 layers. So you got the top layers, 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers, okay? So you just want to make sure that they're even and they're all together like that, so that when you stitch them together, they're all even as much as possible, okay? And I'm going to take, and then just thread your needle with your yarn. You can use a tapestry needle. I'm going to cut this yarn that I do have because I have a really long piece. Okay, so, and we're going to do just stitch them together. So at the end of where I've got my yarn threaded, I'm just going to do a little knot at the end just to keep it from going through. The tutorial videos on YouTube that I watched, they were showing how to leave your tail once you're done, and you can use that tail to fasten it together, and that works also. But I just decided I'm going to do it this way because to me it would be easier. Okay, this is for beginners, and this is a crocheted headband head warmer for beginners. And so I wanted to make it a little more simpler for beginners. Okay, I've tied a knot. I'm just gonna snip that end off a little bit. Okay, and now I'm just going to go through these 4 layers. Now you just got to be careful when you get those ones that are in the middle. Okay, and you want to just take your needle and stick it through there. Okay. I'm going to pull it all the way through so I get my knot on the end there. Okay, and then just kind of, you can whip stitch it to where you're laying that yarn over top and then going from the bottom and through. And you don't want to go down too far, because the farther you go down, the more you're going to make the headband tighter. Okay, so you don't want to go down too far. Like I've got it there, so it's not down too far, because you don't want to lose too much of your length. Okay, and just whip stitch it around. Got a little steeple. Okay, here we go, and just cinch it tight. And just be careful when you're sticking your needle, you're going through all 4 layers. You can kind of feel it with your fingers and through the needle. And you just kind of want to go through it down to the end, and then just kind of go back to the other end. Okay? So I'm just going to pull that up a little bit. Okay. To the end of it here, so one last little run in there. And these are really quick and easy to make, and they're super fun. And when you play around with the different colors, it just makes it even more fun. Okay, now I'm down to, I've worked my way from this end to this end, so I'm just going to go back through and work my way back to the right. So I went from the right to the left, and now I'm going to go back from the left to the right. My tail is really super long. You don't have to have it that long, but I wanted to make sure I had enough to really secure that twist. Okay, about to the end. Okay, and then at the end you can take and weave in your ends, and if you need to know how to do that, I have other videos. You can look on my channel and find the videos where I teach you how to weave in your ends. And just to make time wise for this video, I don't want to make it too long, I'm just going to leave that. And I may cut it just a little shorter. That was just excessive. Okay, so when you turn it right side out, it's got this cute little twist. Get this yarn out of the way. And doing the border makes it really fun too, right? So it turned out really pretty. And yes, and so this is a crocheted headband, head warmer. And it can wrap around your head, keep your head warm, keep your ears warm. And anything is good with this cold, freezing weather. And so if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe to my channel so you can get some upcoming videos. And I may do a few more of these. I want to do one knitted and see how that looks knitted. And so it just turned out really cute. And also I'll put a free pattern for this if you need a written pattern, if you're like the type of person where you like to follow the pattern of exactly how to crochet this. I'll put the free pattern on my website. It's dawnsYarnhaven.com. I'll put the link to my website in the description of this video so you can access it easily and enjoy. Happy crocheting!